Well, it's still getting messier and messier, Indy. It ends with us feud between co-stars Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaints, not under the influence of drugs.
The feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is quickly becoming one of Hollywood's most explosive dramas in years. Two major stars, a highly anticipated film, and now courtroom battles are tearing apart what was once a professional partnership, all in the public eye. And just when it seemed messy enough, Taylor Swift's name has been pulled into the chaos, leaving fans scrambling to figure out how she fits into the story. So, what's really happening? Why is this lawsuit threatening to overshadow not only careers but also friendships? Let's rewind. Blake Lively, long admired for her charm and Golden Girl image, and Justin Baldoni, a leading man in his own right, teamed up to bring Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel It Ends With Us to the big screen. Fans were thrilled, a beloved book, a powerful cast, and sky-high expectations. But fast forward to today, and no one could have predicted the storm of drama that unfolded behind the scenes.
You're not kidding when you say this is getting messier. The author of that book deleting her Instagram account, another who plays Baldoni's sister in the film, being harassed online.
Blake Lively has accused Justin Baldoni of shocking behavior on set, filing a lawsuit that includes claims of harassment, misconduct, and a hostile work environment. According to Blake, Justin repeatedly crossed boundaries, entering her trailer without permission, making inappropriate comments, and even showing her personal footage without consent. Her legal team also alleged that when she raised concerns, the production studio Wayfarer ignored them and that Justin and his associates retaliated with a smear campaign aimed at damaging her reputation. But Blake didn't stop there. She also called out the studio for enabling Justin's alleged actions instead of addressing her complaints. Justin, however, isn't staying silent. In a quick counterattack, he filed lawsuits of his own, claiming that Blake's allegations are false and part of a deliberate plan to hurt his career. To support his case, his team has released evidence. Text messages, behind-the-scenes footage, and internal communications showing a very different side of what happened on set. And things get even messier. These pieces of evidence don't just involve Blake and Justin. They also mention Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds, turning this feud into a star-studded Hollywood.
They believe that it's a continuation of the smear campaign that Blake initially claims happened while they were promoting the film.
Justin's legal team has accused Blake Lively of manipulating evidence to fit her narrative. One of the most talked about examples involves a series of text messages Blake presented, which seemed to show Justin and his team plotting to ruin her reputation. Justin's team quickly fired back, claiming the messages were doctored. They released their own version, arguing that Blake's team was actually behind fake positive media coverage to distract from her own controversies. In one text exchange, Justin reportedly asked his team, "How can we prove we aren't doing this?" "It looks bad," to which his PR representative replied, "Blake's team is behind most of the media frenzy."
There he is, creepy Baldoni, getting close to her, obviously making small chatter not in character so as not to make the scene, which didn't require dialogue, awkward.
And that's just one part of the story. Blake's lawsuit also claimed that Justin's team celebrated after shutting down HR complaints on set, suggesting these complaints were related to serious misconduct. However, Justin's team released an email from a news outlet that contradicted this claim. According to the email, the HR complaints were not about harassment but about workplace conflicts, specifically involving Blake's alleged controlling behavior on set. Adding another layer, insiders from the production described Justin as kind but overwhelmed, and said that Blake was creating tension among the cast and crew.
Literally, I'm just asking the question, like, how are women allowed to do this, to take something and to make it sound like you survived, or that's what it sounded like to the public?
Now, let's talk about the footage. This part is jaw-dropping. Justin's team released a behind-the-scenes video from the set that they say contradicts Blake's claims. In the footage, the two actors are seen laughing and joking while filming an intimate scene. Blake is heard suggesting small adjustments to make the scene look more romantic, while Justin jokes about his beard and says hurry up. At one point, Blake even says, "It's my body, makeup," in response to a lighthearted comment from Justin. According to his legal team, the video shows a professional and consensual interaction, directly challenging Blake's claims of discomfort and harassment. But Blake's team isn't backing down. They argue that the video actually supports her case, pointing out moments where she appears to lean away or make jokes to deflect Justin's alleged advances. Both sides remain firm, and public opinion is deeply divided. Then there's Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, who has found himself in the middle of this firestorm. Reports suggest Ryan was heavily involved in the production, reportedly rewriting scenes and giving input on the script. One key moment revolves around a rooftop scene that Blake allegedly rewrote with Ryan's help. According to Justin's lawsuit, Blake invited him to her New York apartment to discuss the changes and introduced him to Ryan and Taylor Swift. Justin claims he felt pressured by Ryan and Taylor to go along with Blake's version of the scene, with Blake allegedly calling them her dragons who always have her back.
They have two sides here, right? So Baldoni says this was all an effort to hijack the film to get her way. Lively claims she was the victim of harassment in a hostile work environment.
But let's not forget Taylor Swift's role in this saga. Her name was brought into the lawsuit because of her connection to Blake and Ryan. According to Justin's legal team, Blake allegedly used her friendship with Taylor to gain influence and pressure Justin. One text included in the lawsuit reportedly shows Blake comparing herself to a Game of Thrones character, saying she had dragons on her side, a clear reference to Taylor and Ryan. While Taylor hasn't officially commented, rumors suggest she's not happy about being drawn into the drama. Some sources even say she has been quietly distancing herself from Blake, leading fans to speculate that their friendship might be strained.
Has denied all of these allegations. They have responded to this filing this lawsuit saying,
one notable moment is Taylor Swift's absence from a recent high-profile event where Blake was expected to appear. The two have usually been inseparable, often praising each other's work and showing public support. Now, fans are wondering if Taylor's silence says a lot, and it's understandable. Being pulled into a multi-million-dollar lawsuit between two Hollywood heavyweights, especially with her name used in court, is far from ideal. As for the courtroom battles, the stakes couldn't be higher. Justin's legal team is seeking hundreds of millions in damages, claiming Blake's allegations have damaged his reputation and cost him major opportunities. Meanwhile, Blake's team is standing firm, insisting her claims are supported by strong evidence and that she's ready to face Justin in court. Both sides are digging in, and with a trial set for 2026, this drama shows no signs of slowing down.
Most of his career, he has been a major proponent of feminism, of healthy masculinity. How does it feel for him, though?
But here's the big question. Who's telling the truth? Is Blake a victim courageously standing up against misconduct? Or is Justin the one being targeted in a calculated smear campaign? And what about Taylor Swift? Will she finally speak out and take sides, or stay out of the drama? One thing is certain, this feud has already changed how fans see some of their favorite stars, and the fallout is far from over. Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning.
Shutting down a woman's
She
claim.
is claiming that there was harassment. He's saying none of it's true, never happened, never did.
The drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has reached a whole new level, and the stakes are higher than ever. If you thought things were messy before, just wait. This isn't just another Hollywood feud. It's a full-blown battle over reputations, careers, and control. And it's not just about legal filings or behind-the-scenes footage anymore. The fallout is spilling into their personal lives, involving friends, co-stars, and even family. The big question now, how far is too far, and are everyone involved ready for the consequences? Starting with Blake Lively's claims, she alleges that Justin and his team went to extreme lengths to discredit her. According to her, this wasn't just a disagreement about creative control or on-set behavior. She says there was a calculated effort to damage her image, including planting stories in the media, twisting her words, and manipulating public opinion to make her look like the villain. Blake claims Justin's team worked with certain media outlets to portray her as difficult, controlling, and impossible to work with. One of the most shocking claims is that his PR team actively encouraged reporters to dig up old controversies from her past.
We can now all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
Justin's team tells a very different story. They insist that Blake is the one behind a smear campaign, using her fame and connections to influence public opinion. One key point in Justin's lawsuit is the claim that Blake doctored text messages to make it look like his team was targeting her. His lawyers have released their own versions of those messages, keeping timestamps and emojis intact to show they were taken out of context. And then there's the footage. According to Justin, the raw behind-the-scenes videos from the set of It Ends With Us serve as proof that Blake's allegations are exaggerated, if not completely false.
Got some major scoops. I mean, everybody's talking because the sink is shipping and people want to get onto lifeboats. So let's jump right in. Welcome back to Camp.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. As this story unfolds, people close to both Blake and Justin are starting to speak up, or in some cases, distance themselves entirely. On one side, Blake's longtime friends and collaborators are publicly supporting her and praising her courage for speaking out. On the other, former colleagues and insiders are quietly, or sometimes not so quietly, sharing what it was really like to work with her. One former co-star claimed Blake has a reputation for being difficult to please on set, and that her desire for creative control often caused tension. Another actor even cryptically described her as someone who always gets what she wants, no matter the cost.
That I got over the weekend. I'm going to go over the biggest revelations from the filing. And I guess we'll just start with revelation number one, which was that we were...
Meanwhile, Justin's allies are rallying around him, portraying him as a victim of what they call a calculated takedown. His publicist, Melissa, has been particularly vocal, denying any involvement in a smear campaign and insisting that any negative press about Blake happened naturally. She even shared emails with reporters to show that her team had nothing to do with it. One email included a note from a journalist suggesting that Blake's own PR team was behind some of the most positive coverage about her, which Melissa described as suspiciously timed. Then there's Ryan Reynolds, Blake's husband, who has been closely involved throughout this ordeal. Reports say he has helped shape Blake's legal strategy and even reached out to some of her former co-stars to gather testimonials in her defense. However, Ryan's involvement hasn't gone unnoticed. Justin's lawsuit specifically mentions him, accusing Ryan of using his influence to interfere with the production of It Ends With Us. One bold claim alleges that Ryan convinced Sony executives to give Blake more creative control over the film, effectively sidelining Justin in the process.
Nobody, genuinely, Steph, if you're watching this, I genuinely don't like Blake Lively. Like, I genuinely know, I've known she's a brat. Nobody's paying me to say this.
And let's not forget Taylor Swift. The pop superstar has found herself caught in the middle of this feud due to her close friendship with Blake and Ryan. While Taylor hasn't made any public statements, her name has appeared repeatedly in court documents, adding another layer to the story. According to Justin's lawsuit, Taylor's presence was allegedly used as leverage during a key meeting about the film's direction. Justin claims Blake invited him to her New York apartment to discuss script changes, only for Taylor and Ryan to be there, pressuring him to agree with Blake's vision. Blake reportedly referred to Taylor and Ryan as her dragons in a text message, a phrase that has since gone viral and inspired countless memes online.
No one's told me to say this. I think people really didn't like her during those premiere things, and there was no plot against you. Okay?
But here's where things get complicated. Rumors suggest that Taylor Swift isn't happy about being pulled into this legal drama. Some sources say she's quietly distancing herself from Blake, while others insist their friendship remains strong. One insider even claimed that Taylor feels used, especially after her name was repeatedly linked to the lawsuit. Then there's the Super Bowl situation. Fans noticed that Taylor didn't invite Blake to sit with her in the VIP section this year, a big change from last year, when they were inseparable. Whether it was a deliberate snub or just a coincidence, the timing has certainly caught people's attention.
We just broke a shocking story. There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift.
And speaking of timing, the release of unedited footage from the set has only added fuel to the fire. In one clip, Blake and Justin are seen rehearsing a scene where their characters share a tender moment. The footage shows them laughing and discussing ways to make the scene feel more authentic, with Blake even suggesting dialogue changes to add depth. To Justin's team, this proves their working relationship was professional and collaborative. Blake's legal team, however, sees it differently. They argue that the footage shows Blake trying to manage an uncomfortable situation, using humor to deflect unwanted attention. The video has sparked heated debates online, with fans analyzing every frame to decide who's telling the truth. The implications for both actors are significant. For Blake, the stakes are high. Despite being one of Hollywood's most bankable stars, the lawsuit has cast a shadow over her image. Critics say she's using her celebrity status to control the narrative, while others argue she's standing up for herself in a male-dominated industry. For Justin, the fallout has been just as serious. His reputation as a director and producer is on the line, and he's already lost several high-profile projects because of the allegations.
Morning, George. This is a big mess for everyone involved. The legal drama playing out in multiple courts now, literally from coast to coast, and all kinds of people close to these stars, from personal trainers to friends like Taylor Swift, finding their names mentioned as part of this ongoing fight.
But here's the thing. This isn't just about Blake and Justin anymore. The ripple effects of their feud are being felt across Hollywood, raising questions about power, accountability, and the media's role in shaping public opinion. With a trial set for 2026, it's clear the saga is far from over. The big question now, who will come out on top? Will Blake's allegations hold up in court, or will Justin's counterclaims reveal a different side of the story? And what about Taylor and Ryan? Will their involvement help or hurt Blake's case? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned, because this story is far